So we have Daniel versus AlphaStar. This is Diamond 2 MMR. So, without further ado, bottom left side of the map we have Daniel as the red Terran player. And at the top right side of the map we have AlphaStar as the blue Protoss. Looks like AlphaStar is going to start by making his pylon sort of towards the bottom left side of his base. I'm assuming he's doing this so that way it's going to be troublesome for Reapers to get in. And Daniel's going to start off with a supply depot on his ramp. Wall off his ramp, it looks like. Standard play, yep. Gateway comes down. Trying to stop Reapers from coming up this ramp. Spot him a little bit early. Spot him. Hopefully he doesn't trap any units in here like a noob. Yeah, he's already rallying his gateway over here, so... And the barracks is going to be placed a little bit to the left so that way he can wall off with the add-on, I'm guessing, instead of walling off with just the barracks. So he's going to put an add-on on a barracks, so he's probably not going to be producing a Reaper. I'll start with the second pylon. Daniel sends a scout across the map. They both have a gas mining. A little bit of a supply lead for AlphaStar. Throwing down a cybernetics core. Looks like Daniel's gonna mine some minerals. He's gonna build a command center. I'm guessing. Yep, he's saving up minerals for it. 400. There it is. Throws down a CC. Okay. Well, AlphaStar hasn't scouted this, so this might be a bit of a problem if he doesn't scout it. And this, you know, Daniel's going to pull way ahead in the macro game. Oh, he has a Zealot out chasing this SCV down. No, it doesn't look like he's going to get it. The SCV gets away, barely, with his life. Zealot's still chasing, though. Looks like AlphaStar's just going to send a Zealot across the map to scout. Okay, so he's scouting with a Zealot instead of a probe, alright. Meanwhile, has a Stalker coming out at home. Throwing down a second gateway. Throwing down a robotics facility. Okay, so he's going to go for the robotics facility, okay. Only has one mining, second gas. Meanwhile, AlphaStar has two mining from... Okay, so it looks like AlphaStar has a little bit of a lead in the gas income. 300 to 200. Zealot makes his way across the map, and the CC is about to finish up. We'll see if... Oh, can he get it? Ooh, and he kills the SCV. That's going to slow down the command center right when it's about to be completed. That hurts. That does hurt. Well, you can already see Daniel sending another SCV to try to complete that command center, but the Zealot's sticking around. He doesn't want to let that command center finish. Oh, let's see. Is it going to finish? Is he going to get it? Oh, he just finished it. Barely. That Reaper has to go back up. There's two more shots from that Stalker, and that Reaper would have gone down. So he doesn't have any defense out yet. Oh, he has one Marauder out, but he's just hammering away at this command center. It's upgrading, so he doesn't want to cancel it and lift off. It's halfway done. He's just hammering away at this command center. Meanwhile, he's sending another Stalker across the map. He already knows that that command center is ahead of his Nexus, so he doesn't want Daniel to get too far ahead in the macro game, so he's just trying to do a little bit of damage here and there. Oh, you gotta be careful. Those concussive shells, those Marauders. Yep, looks like Daniel has enough units to push this back. Decent micro. You gotta be careful not to lose that Zealot. You gotta be careful. Oh, he lost the Zealot. Oh, he might lose more. No, it looks like he's gonna get away. I don't think these units can't chase with Marauders. The Marauders are too slow, so Daniel just pulls back to home. Takes the half damage hit on his command center. He'll probably end up repairing that at some point. Don't know when, but meanwhile, the Nexus finishes up. And it looks like Daniel hasn't really started droning much, so AlphaStar pretty much on tie with the worker count. 24 to 25 workers, so really the damage with the Stalker and the Zealot was enough to force out some units from Daniel instead of producing workers, so that's always nice. Now he has a pretty much an even advantage here. It's 26 to 26 workers. Meanwhile, from the Robo, we have an Immortal and a Warp Prism that came down. Still only two gateways, though. Throwing down a third gateway. And 52 to 43. The army supply a little bit ahead for AlphaStar. We'll see if he gets anything done with that. A little bit of an army lead. Yep, he looks like he's making a way across the map again. Gonna see what Daniel's got going on here. And they're gonna meet in the middle. And Daniel's gotta be careful, he's not looking. Oh, he just lost a Hellion. Oh boy. And he lost another Hellion. Oh, that hurts. He's losing units left and right. Oh, he picked him up. Nice micro with the medevac. He saved 2 Marauders. Didn't save that third one though. Wow, Daniel just lost a lot of army supply. 10 to 23. This game could be over quickly. And he reinforces with a Warp Prism. Daniel trying to pull the boys. Loses the Marauder. And the force field on the ramp so the Marauder can't chase down. Meanwhile, he's going to just hit the command center. Is he going to get it? Oh, the SCV makes him pass the force field to try to repair. The Mule's not repairing. They're just running, trying to... Nope, the command center goes down. Looks like AlphaStar is going to just pull back a little bit. It doesn't want to get too risky and try to make his way up that ramp. He's happy with that command center kill, but he is sticking around. Meanwhile, now he's got a huge economic lead. Well, the mule count is helping back at home. His SCV is mining, so pretty much even on the... Actually, even for the moment. Even though it's 2 bases to 1, pretty much even at the moment. Meanwhile, AlphaStar back home, throwing on a couple more gates. Throwing some random pylons down. Bad pylon placement, but okay. And he picks off one Vespene Geyser, and then he just backs off again. Throwing him down the hallucinated Phoenix to see what Daniel's got going on. Daniel is supply blocked. He's been supply blocked for a little while now. Now that the mules are gone, the supply, the economic advantage, really, well, still not that much, honestly. Still not that big of a lead. He's only got 10 probes on this Nexus, 11 probes. It's really, I mean, 33 workers to 28. He's really not taking advantage of the fact that he killed this command center. Warping in 3 Stalkers at home. I think he's afraid of some type of counterattack here. That's the only reason he warped in those at home. I'm guessing he's afraid of some Banshee harasser, a battle cruiser harasser, something. He did rebuild that command center on the high ground, and he is upgrading it to an orbital command. Has Cloak researching, double Banshee. He's getting combat shield for his Marines. Throwing on a reactor at the 2nd barracks. Daniel's interested in moving this command center back to low ground. 85 supply to 58 though. AlphaStar is in a commanding position here. Does have an economic advantage still. 43 workers to 32. 42 army supply to 28. Upgrade advantage is going to be in favor of Daniel, though. He is getting those 1-1 upgrades. He does already have those 1-1 upgrades for his vehicles. While about halfway done for ground armor and ground weapons. AlphaStar is trying to do some immortal harass here. Takes out the turret. Does some damage to the command center, picks up and gets on out of there. Reinforces on the front. Oh, here comes the Banshee counterattack. We'll see if I can get anything done. Against a Stalker, 3 Stalkers, an Observer over here. I think AlphaStar knows about this because he saw the Banshee with the hallucinated Phoenix, so he's anticipating this. Here the Banshees come, and they have to quickly fly out of there as they realize there are Stalkers there. Might get the snipe off the cannon. And that's a 350 minerals for Daniel. Trying to get the pylon. Stalkers are going to push him back, though. Not really much accomplished there. I mean, 150 minerals. You know. AlphaStar throws down 3 more cannons. He says, fuck that, I'm not having any of that Banshee bullshit that's happening. Wolfs in 3 more Stalkers. Really just doesn't want to get his mineral line harassed at all. Banshees are going to scout around the map. See what else they can uncover here.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Void Ray hallucination. Okay. That's cheeky. He already knows this. Okay. Drops the Immortals on the high ground. Barely hit. Oh, barely saves that one. Jeez, I wonder how much health that was. Makes it on out of there. Kills a tank. Here Daniel comes pushing forward. Oh, Star almost lost. No, I guess that siege tank is pretty far. You'd have to walk that sentry pretty far up forward to lose it. The Banshee's flying into the main. Not really going to get much accomplished. Oh, there's so many cannons. AlphaStar just said, fuck that shit. Fuck that Banshee shit. Just too many cannons. The scan comes down. He knows about AlphaStar's army. Looks like this is a pretty huge army for Daniel. 58 to 62. But remember, AlphaStar still has like 6 stalkers at home. Pretty sure. Oh no, he moved those. An Immortal at home. Sorry about that. Force field's coming down. Pushing AlphaStar back. AlphaStar comes forward with an observer. Trying to figure out what Daniel's doing. Just leaves it there. He sees the tanks. Doesn't know about these medevacs with all this bio. Making their way on the side of the map. Just loses tanks at home. Income advantage still heavily in favor in AlphaStar because AlphaStar took a 3rd base. Meanwhile, Daniel's still on 2 bases. Doesn't have it fully saturated yet, but oh, this drop could do a lot of damage. All this bio here. 1 cannon here to protect it. It's not going to be enough. Takes out the cannon and the recall on the Nexus. He's going to take out that Twilight Council too, it looks like. And oh, he makes it out of there. All 3 medevacs makes it out of there. Loses a couple Marines. Took out the Twilight Council. That's going to have to be rebuilt. Where do those medevacs go? Did they make it back already? Am I blind? Made it back already, I guess? Huh. Well, that was quick. Those afterburners really do the job. AlphaStar throws down 4 cannons. He said, you're not coming in from that side again. He moves back out to the center of the map. Supply lead for Daniel right now. Army supply heavily in favor of Daniel. But the gas advantage in favor of AlphaStar here. Same thing on the pretty much same mineral income thanks to mules, because mules are dumb. Terran LP. Got the first Colossus out for AlphaStar. He needs more production buildings though. He only has 1 robotics facility and 5 gateways. 2 ground weapons almost done. Blink about 1/3 of the way done. Ground armor level 2, or is that level 1? I don't know. Can't tell. About almost halfway done. Moving out on the edge of the map. Wants to avoid that siege tank. But there are multiple siege tanks just hammering down at AlphaStar on the left side. He's trying to go for that natural expansion because he thought most of the siege tanks were on the right side. But they are not. 1 Colossus getting owned by that Marine right in the middle. He realizes it. Oh, and the medevacs try to drop where those 4 cannons are. One of the medevacs gets picked off immediately. Another medevac gets picked off. But the bio does get dropped. Last medevac barely surviving. Oh, is he going to get that Twilight Council again? Oh, no. Recalling the Nexus. Ooh. Oh, he gets the cannon. Oh, and the medevac with all the bio. Well, the army supply still in favor of Daniel drastically. Supply still in favor of Daniel drastically. Man, AlphaStar was dominating early game, and now he's just getting rocked with the economic disadvantage. I mean, Daniel hasn't been mining from these gases for a long time. So AlphaStar has had 3 gases for, three bases worth of gas over Daniel for a while, so he does have a big big, big gas bank. But the army supply is just so in favor of Daniel. But the weapon upgrades, though. Looks like somehow he pulled ahead on the upgrades. Somehow AlphaStar managed to pull ahead of Daniel on the upgrades, even though Daniel was had 1-1 finished first. So he has level 1 shields as well, and he's researching level 3 ground weapons. AlphaStar makes his way to the right side of the map. That's what we say. He's trying to scout out, trying to find out where Daniel's army is. That turret in the middle of the map taking care of that observer. Not sure how long ago that happened. Meanwhile, AlphaStar takes a 4th base. So does Daniel. AlphaStar a little bit ahead of that. Both players just sitting back, not wanting to do anything crazy. He added on a couple more robos to increase Colossus production. Wow, that's a lot of Colossus. 5 Colossus in production. Well, it looks like Daniel was pretty ahead on the army supply earlier, but he's just giving AlphaStar time. And eventually, when AlphaStar realized that Daniel had that he needed more production facilities, he made them. Daniel just gave him time to do that. Daniel making his way to the top left side of the map with his entire army. Well, he leaves some of it at home. He leaves 4 siege tanks, some bio at home, bunker full of Marines. Oh wow, 7 siege tanks at home. So really just like half of his army. He puts the Liberators down. He's going for this. He's going for this 4th base of AlphaStar. And as soon as AlphaStar sees all those Marines killing his 4th base, AlphaStar says, well, I gotta do something. And he starts pressing forward. And those Colossus, those just 5 Colossus in the back, just wreaking havoc on everything. Just destroying everything. And while Daniel killing, it looks like it's going for the base trade here. Stops that Colossus production, but this one comes out. Meanwhile, these Colossus are wreaking havoc. Army supply in favor of Daniel. See how this one turns out. But it looks like, see, Daniel's not losing anything. Well, he is losing the army back. These army units are trading. Okay. Taking out the natural. So, Daniel's taking out AlphaStar's natural. Now he's making his way up to the main. AlphaStar's doing the same thing. Daniel's a little bit faster. Taking out the things. Taking out the buildings, taking out the stuff, takes out the robo, takes out the... Wow, those are dropping fast. And that DPS from the Marines is no joke. Oh, AlphaStar recalls. Where does he recall to? Recalls to his 3rd Nexus. With all those Colossus. We'll see what he recalled and then ran across... Oh. Okay, he wants to pick off these SCVs, making his way through the middle of the map. Okay. Daniel's suiciding a bunch of boys. And now he's setting up defenses at his 4th base, because that's all he's got. He's got 1 base. He's flying this orbital command to the left side of the map. Meanwhile, Daniel's taking out all of AlphaStar's main base. AlphaStar has a pretty big bank, though. He's rebuilding 5 gateways. Oh, boy, and Colossus with the upgraded lasers just ruining Daniel's army. 2 medevacs, 3 medevacs. Medevac picked off. Well, now the army supply is a little bit in favor of Daniel. Supply pretty much the same. It's a little bit in favor of Daniel, but the income from AlphaStar is definitely mineral income. Definitely in AlphaStar's favor. Mules could possibly... He's not mining. What? He suicided all those... all these SCVs just getting picked off. Look at the worker supply. 15 workers for Daniel. I wonder why all those SCVs ran. Maybe he was thinking that the game was over and he was bringing suicides and bull. I don't know. I don't know why all these SCVs were running through the middle of the map. Maybe he was thinking he was going to save them. I think AlphaStar knows. He knows. Yeah, he saw those SCVs. He knows that orbital is on the right side with no protection. Killing all the mules, all the workers. He might get this orbital. There's only 2 stalkers here that can hit this orbital. 2 stalkers, but it looks like it's going to be enough with 3+3 weapons. Now the weapons and armor advantage in favor of Daniel. Daniel has 3-3 for his mech, but nothing for his bio. Worker supply heavily in favor of AlphaStar. AlphaStar is supply blocked pretty badly. Supply advantage in favor of Daniel. Still 13 workers to 30, though. If AlphaStar gets some time, Daniel doesn't do anything too crazy. Well, I mean, Colossus are just... Daniel has no Vikings. He has no Vikings. It's just Marine, Siege Tank, Liberators, a couple of Marauders. It just... no anti-air. I mean, Colossus just diarrhea shit on Bio. Ooh, then he makes his way forward. Colossus doing their job. Doesn't want to go too far into those siege tanks. But he decides to go around. Yeah, quickly making waste of this orbital. Ooh, 3 A-move shots. 3 volleys from the Colossus. The orbital is gone. 0 to 100 real quick. Those Colossus taking out the Bio and the tanks on the high ground. Daniel opting to not send the rest of his army near those Colossus. He knows that he'll just get dominated. Even though the Colossus are pretty weak. Oh, here comes the Bio. As I say that, here come the Bio, trying to make their way, trying to save the base. Here come the Liberators. And the Bio just... oh, he just tries to run that up the ramp, and it's just no-go. That is a no-go. That was a horrible, horrible move by Daniel. 42 to 82 supply. 10 workers to 27. How this game quickly turned around, but look at AlphaStar's bank. Look at Daniel's bank. The Liberator taking out the Colossus. AlphaStar has no units that can hit that Liberator right now. He just has 2 Immortals, 3 Immortals, excuse me, and 3 Colossus here. But he has 5 Stalkers making his way across the map. Meanwhile, Liberator making waste of this Immortal and this whole mineral line. AlphaStar recalls after losing. Ooh! And loses 2 Colossus to the Liberators for the recall. Why did he recall? Well, that was not very good. And he blinks the Stalkers underneath the Liberator. Quickly makes waste of both Liberators after losing an entire mineral line. 21 workers to 10. But AlphaStar's bank is just so huge. I can't see him losing this game with a bank that big. Starts to make 3 Immortals. He just wants to spend that money. 3 Immortals at this robotics facility. Warping in 5 more Blink Stalkers. Oh. And a Liberator's trying to delay some mining time. AlphaStar pulls the probes to not lose him. As he makes waste of the Liberator with the Blink Stalker. And on the other side of the map, Daniel desperately trying to remain in this game and harass AlphaStar. Takes out a pylon, takes out 2 pylons, a cannon, gets the medevac taken out, the Bio gets taken out. What little army supply Daniel has left gets taken out. 23 army supply to 49. 76 to 34. It just is not looking good for Daniel, Red Terran player. AlphaStar, meanwhile, taking a 3rd base with not fully saturated. We just have 4 probes just sitting here doing nothing. Daniel only has 11 workers mining from this 1 base. He needs to make SCVs. He's not making any SCVs right now. He needs to make SCVs. He has a planetary just sitting there with a couple of tanks. Meanwhile, AlphaStar making his way across the map, trying to find out if Daniel has any other expansions besides this planetary that he already knows about. And this Liberator coming in from the south side. And on the Bio drop on the 3rd Nexus. Oh, and the recall. He doesn't want to lose that 3rd expansion. Meanwhile, the Liberator making waste again of this mineral line. Those 4 probes that were saved really not doing anything because they weren't mining that whole time anyway. And the Liberator makes it away with 7 probe kills. Did the Bio make it out of there? I think the Bio got cleaned up. Yeah, the medevac's no longer. Bio got cleaned up by the Blink Stalkers. That is a lot of Stalkers. I don't think AlphaStar realizes how little army supply Daniel has and how much he actually crippled him earlier with that attack, with that base trade. I don't think AlphaStar realizes how crippled Daniel is. Otherwise, he could pretty much just end this game at any moment. He just has to push out. Has to try it. Another 5 Stalkers and that Immortal. He has 4 Immortals, a Colossus, and like 20 Blink Stalkers. Army supply 79 to 25. There's no way Daniel could possibly hold this. And here comes the final push. Tanks. Blink forward. Snipe off on the tanks, on all the tanks. Quickly. That planetary force is going down. Yep. The Colossus, he picks off those Colossus. That was a nice pickoff, but he taps out. GG. And AlphaStar is victorious. Alright, thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the replay. Have a nice day.